Postdoc Transformation. Postdoc Transformation. Postdoc Transformation. Invest in your postdoc transformation. Welcome to the seasonal show for scientists leaping into business. In every sponsored episode, we are happy to recommend employers of choice for you. Make sure to check your readiness to leap out of science with us for free, as linked in the show notes. For your career transition, we offer customized career transition e-courses and memberships also at graduate schools all over the world. Maybe yours too. And if your university isn't yet our customer, enroll in your free email course for career transition made simple, as linked in the show notes. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Eleonore Soei-Winkels, with my team who is rooting for you. And let's build your postdoc transformation with this episode. Welcome to the Postdoc Transformation Show for scientists leaping into business. Today, I'm so pleased to have a guest I met on TikTok. And she impressed me because she is openly sharing that a PhD is not needed to be successful in management. So today I'll be welcoming Aline Julienne Salambéré. And Aline is a management trainer and she consults companies on HR strategies, planning, and public policy in Montreal, Canada. And she's been working with companies in Canada in Africa as well. So Burkina Faso, Senegal, Guinea-Conakry, Mali, and Togo. I want to share with you her views on how valuable or not a PhD is in business. So welcome to the show, Aline.
Thank you so much, Eleonore, for having me. I'm very delighted to be here and to share with you and your viewers and your listeners.
So why did you pursue a PhD? And when did you notice that maybe everything but the dissertation is a good way for you?
Actually, that's a good question. If you want, we're going to go back maybe a few decades. When my mother was pregnant with me, she was going to university. So I think that's where I got the bug of learning. I love to learn and I love school. I have always been very different that way because other kids during the summer, they just want the summer to never end. And me, I was like, oh, I want to go back to school. So I absolutely love school. I love to learn. And that's what led me to a PhD because, there's so much you can do after your master's degree. So I said, okay, let's go for a PhD. And I had a subject that I loved, that I wanted to know more on. So I wanted to research that. So that's how I got into the PhD program. But I learned a lot about the PhD program once I was in it. I learned that it was not only about being smart and being book smart. It was about being consistent, being disciplined, having a huge support system, and being able to pay for your tuition fees because it is not free and you have to work a lot. So it was a balance. I learned a lot about balancing my life, different aspects of my life, and having a support system and everything. So that's how it went for me during the PhD process. And the reason why I didn't do the dissertation was not really a choice. It was more about, I had personal issues at that time. That was a priority for me. So I did that and I said, do I really need the dissertation? I learned the most. I know how to research. I know not everything that I need to know, but I know a lot about the field. So do I really need the degree? So I prioritized my personal issues versus pursuing the dissertation to have the PhD title.
And once you have determined your readiness to leap and want to transition into business or industries, then you can enroll in your free email course with 10 actionable, bingeable email lessons until you start your job in business. You'll get 10 emails like this. Number 1, how to leap out of science. Number 2, how to build your sustainable LinkedIn profile. Number 3, how to read social media and network. Number 4, how to research your favorite jobs and employers. Number 5, how to do informational interviews to get insights. Number 6, how to create your customized applications with ChatGPT. Number 7, how to prepare your thesis from a business point of view. Number 8, how to apply to your favorite employers. Number 9, how to choose the right job offer. Number 10, how to prepare for your new job. That was an honest assessment on the value of gaining skills during your PhD, but also weighing the caveats, the opportunities that come with a PhD or not. As you were talking about your past decision to not obtain the full PhD, but instead to finish everything and then without the dissertation you went out, did you fear that the PhD would have been beneficial in your management career, or do you think that in hindsight that was the best decision that you could do because you don't really have any bad consequences out of that? So what is your experience?
That's a great question because there are two phases. Actually, I would say there are two phases in having or not having the PhD diploma. When I was in the PhD program, I had an award for excellence. But at the end, I can see that all that doesn't really matter when you enter your career and when you're trying to be a consultant and everything. It doesn't matter. At the time when I got the award, I felt like all the doors was going to open before me because, I have an excellence award. But no, it doesn't work that way. Right now, what I learned was that in Africa and also maybe in French-speaking Europe, the title is very important. I'm actually considering going back to completing my dissertation just for that. Because yes, I'm a consultant and it works and I have beautiful opportunities and it's all right. But I can see and I can feel that people think that the title is very important. It even looks more important than your knowledge or your skills sometimes. So yeah, that's a culture. I think it's really a French-speaking mindset. In North America, it's about skills. In my postgrad classroom, so it was master degrees students, I've had some people that have maybe a high school diploma, but they have maybe 10, 15 years of very relevant experience. And it's a work experience that helped them develop a lot of valuable skills. So it compensates for them not having maybe another degree. But you cannot see that in the French system. There is no way you're gonna go from high school to a master's degree. No way. You can work for 25 years, have all the experience you want, you will not be able, maybe it has changed. I'm talking about the French system that I've known for maybe 5-10 years ago. Maybe there are some changes, but I'm not sure that you can do that today as you can do it in the Canadian or the US system.
I hope that times will change, acknowledging that it is not yet in many countries, not just French speaking, but also in other countries. I also teach intercultural psychology, and so I understand that there are some differences. But the future of work won't look at the degree, because it really is more about the skills that you can contribute to bring to the table to move the business needle of the company and to reach its goals, right? So it shouldn't be depending on the degree of the individual, but instead it should be the team effort that is fueled by the individual's talents and skills towards the company goal, right? From episode 1 and counting, I have proudly hosted all our Postdoc Transformation Show episodes on Podbean. As a former IT strategy consultant, I have high requirements on my tech stack, and Podbean is my perfect fit for a podcast host. If you want to create your own individual podcast or one for, internal upskilling and communications within a company, DM or email me Podbean so I can share my experience and consult you. You can also use my affiliate links for perks launching your own podcast with Podbean. Are you wondering how I do my videos and my podcast in my spare time? Well, Descript is the video and audio editor that I use, and I wish I had since day one of my Postdoc Transformation Show. Descript's AI-powered features make it really easy for me to create branded, long-form and short-form content for my TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, X, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn game, and whatever it is. Since my first remote interview with international guests from all over the place, I fell in love with their newly acquired Squadcast feature. So all English interviews are transcribed with high accuracy despite the different accents of my guests, mine including. And best of all, I am editing words and not sound waves. They are constantly building new AI-powered features which have helped me to efficiently and effectively promote my business, Postdoc Transformation, and that's so invaluable as a working mom and active professor. So check it out with my affiliate link in the show notes for launching your own podcast, video show, or even B2B for your internal communication. Okay, so next question that I have for you is for the decision making to pursue the PhD and to continue the PhD, to not drop out. In hindsight, what are your most relevant decision factors?
Yes, so I'm going to share with you what I wish someone had told me when I started the PhD program. I wish someone had told me that I had to be financially ready. That was the first, because I thought school is school. I have a master's degree, I have a bachelor's degree, I know how it works. No, PhD is not school. It's not regular school. It's special. So it's going to take a lot of your time. So you have to be prepared for that. I also wish someone had told me that you have to understand the whole world of the research grants, because you have research grants, you have a whole very administrative, very boring processes that you have to know. So you can apply for different grants and also being heard. So you have to go to conferences and participate in panels and stuff like that. And you also have to publish or perish. I've learned that 2 years into my PhD program, the publish or perish. So I published only when I learned that. Of course, I got into the game, the publishing game, but I was 2 years late. I wish someone had told me that get ready financially, get ready in terms of your time. Also know how to play the game, because it is a game. It's not only a knowledge process. It's not all pure and we're learning, we're all together and we're reading, we're learning, we're sharing. No, that's not all it is. It is a game. You have to know the rules of the game. And one of the rules is publish or perish. One of the rules is try to be in conferences and be heard. Also, make sure that you pick the right professor. That is key. You have to work with someone that is interested in your research subject. Very important, because if they're not interested, you're not going to get published. It's because they also, as professors, have to publish, have to do a certain number of things. So they're not going to take time to work on what you're going to publish if it's not in their interest. It's just time management and resources management. So make sure that your research subject or interest aligns with your professor's research interest also. Very important. And maybe make sure that you have an agreement with your professor about how you're going to work, the timelines, how the feedback going to work. And maybe the last thing, but not the least, know yourself. You have to know yourself. If you know that you're maybe like me, neurodivergent, you have to tell that to your professor. You have to take that into consideration when you are planning things, because you are not going to work the same way as everybody else. There are positive aspects of being neurodivergent, because maybe I learn maybe 2 or 3 times faster than anyone else, but I can go 5 days knowing that there is a deadline, and not doing what I need to do. I'll do it one day before. You have to know yourself, really. It's very important. So maybe that's the things that I wish someone had told me when I started.
Okay, Aline, I'm so grateful to have you here because I know that you have, with your vast management experience, a unique voice because you are probably someone who has been working with many people, also with scientists leaping into business. So, are there differences in the business mindset versus a scientist mindset? Can you share some tips for the new scientists leaping into business?
Actually, and I know what I noticed with only business mindsets is that people are very focused on results, on practices. They don't get the background, they don't get the how, the why, and everything behind that. They don't get that there is a whole world of research that is there to help them do what they do. They think that if you have not been in business for a long time, if you are not on the field, then you don't really get it. They don't understand that there are a lot of companies that have been subject to researches in management. So we have the science. They don't even get maybe that there is a science of management actually. They think it's more of an art or a practice, but not really a science. So that's very interesting because when I work with people that take the leap from science to management, it's easier because we are going to do this thing that scientists do. We're going to take the situation from different perspectives. Just that is something that the other ones tend not to do. They don't. They think that there is one best way, and this is how I view it. And the employee is not working, and if he's not performing, it's because he's not coming at the right hours, because he doesn't respect us, and that's that. So when you're trying to explain to them that, you know what, there's a scientific concept, and maybe that's why something is off with that employee. Maybe their psychological work contract is not what they expected, and science shows that it tends to make them less motivated at work. And or maybe, you know, the one that is coming early and going back late is not maybe your best employee, because you know what? There is something called presenteeism. And it means that they are there physically, they are in front of the computer, but they're not working. So you're trying to explain those things, and they're more difficult to convince because they think, oh, these are theories and it's not real world. In the real world, there are good employees and bad employees. That's it. So when you work with someone that made the leap from science to management, it's a joy to work with them because we can share a lot and we complete each other. And so I'm there to add value as a consultant. I'm there to add value to what they do, but they actually add value to what I do too. So that's the best. It's rare. I didn't meet a lot of them, but it's really the best clients, I would say, that are the best I would love to work with.
And now it's time to thank Company ABC, who sponsors this episode of the Postdoc Transformation Show. I would now be reading the company's answers to one of 6 bold questions so that you can choose to apply. For example, number 1, describe your most valuable experts versus leaders in your company. Have they typically earned a doctor title? Number 2, for which of your company roles or units do you encourage somebody with a doctor title to apply? Number 3, how would you describe your organizational culture in which your most valuable experts and leaders thrive in? To nominate an employer of choice so that we can ask our informative bold questions, let us know via the click on the link. If you are a company representative, like in recruiting and employer branding, and now you want your company to be highlighted as an employer of choice for our audience, you can become a sponsor of a dedicated Postdoc Transformation Show episode. Just click on the link in the show notes. Remember, you are a postdoc transformer. You are highly intelligent, well-educated, a bachelor, master, and maybe you have already your doctor under your belt, or you are a postdoc. You are internationally experienced, fluent in English, a leader and expert in your prior research field. You're resilient, brilliant in adaptation and problem solving. You are eager to bring in the transferable and monetizable skills needed in many companies to embrace the future and to become or remain an innovator in their markets. And now, back to the Postdoc Transformation episode. Scientists seem to have a superpower that they can take from their scientific background and to be open-minded and to view a problem from multiple degrees and not just yes or no, but instead it's a gradual transition, maybe a transformation that needs to be surpassed with multiple tools and not just one tool, the one that has always been working. Maybe it's not the best, but it's the only one. That was really great. Also for my own bachelor and master students in industrial and occupational psychology. Now, I was also talking about the psychological contract with them. So yes, thank you for that. All right, the next question is really to switch gears because you have also alluded to that, the clients that you have. So you are a trainer for management, you are a consultant. So who is your ideal customer? Is it African companies, or is it in Canada, or is it companies expanding both, vice versa?
Thank you for that question. I work with pretty much all sizes of companies as long as they are preoccupied by their people management, their HR management. That's really the key to being someone that I can add value to at work. Companies in Canada, companies in Africa, West Africa, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, etc. That's mainly where I work, is Canada and Africa, but the world is my work field.
And I must admit that I don't understand French that much, but some of your videos, at least the captions, I translated it to English so that I can understand. And it's like, yes, I want to talk to Aline because she shares some important experience that I think underprivileged people can only share and also only relate if they have overcome those challenges. And for me, you are a role model that I want to share in my Postdoc Transformation Show. So thank you for being my guest on the Postdoc Transformation Show, Aline.
Thank you, Eleonore, because likewise, I have been following you on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and I was like, that woman is doing something very important because she's showing that what I'm doing is not crazy. Going from science, trying to say science and management can go hand to hand, and it works. And now there is that woman. She's in Germany. She's a professor, and she does it, and she's doing things that are funny. She doesn't take herself too seriously. So I was like, wow, okay. And so I was very, very happy and very honored that you thought that I could add something to your podcast. Thank you.
Hey, Postdoc Transformer, are you curious to ask professors, principal investigators, visiting scientists, postdocs, PhD students, and candidates some in-depth life and career guiding questions? But it feels cringe, so you end up not asking? Buy our Postdoc Transformation card game to have more fun and valuable insights in your journal club, lab, and mentoring meetings, lab rotations, during conferences, panels, and breaks at the Mensa. You'll get 10 intriguing mentoring questions per career level. So 10 for PhD students, 10 for postdocs, 10 for professors, 10 for parental scientists, underprivileged and underrepresented and underserved scientists. Check them out with our discount coupon on the Postdoc Transformation shop, linked on postdoctransformation.com. I don't find a lot of women who have the same values. And it's not about skin tone, it's not about geographies, but it's about the values that we share. And you share your voice as...
Is Aline your management trainer?
All your resources in the show notes. And also your LinkedIn page
are linked
so that everyone can find you and your services for your training and consulting in Canada and also Africa.
Thank you very much. This was really fun to do. And I really hope that you have a lot of echo with your podcast and what you do, because it's really important for us women. It's very important to know that we don't have to mimic men behaviors to be able to success. We can fully be the woman we want to be, the woman as we picture a woman to be. We have different definitions of being a woman, and we can be all of that and be a scientist and funny and smart and in the science world per se. We can take the science out of the science world, do whatever we want with it. And I think that's how we should really see the science. It's a tool. We do whatever we want with it.
Dear Postdoc Transformer, we are ending season 4 on a high note with Aline Salambéré contemplating to finish her dissertation with the wisdom she knows today. It's a wrap with 50 full episodes under our belt. On behalf of my team, I want to thank you for listening to the Postdoc Transformation Show for scientists leaping into business. By team, I mean my 2 students who are interns and rotating since we started the show on January 2023, and a couple of super fans who really support me behind the scenes, setting up the show notes, setting up the questionnaires for the guests, etc. We all really had a huge learning curve. My show really is my legacy as a professor for industrial and occupational psychology. During the corona crisis, I saw my bachelor and master students suffering under toxic and virtually incapable leaders. This cannot be. That doesn't have to be. I wanted to walk my talk to showcase that verbal encouragement can go a long way, even if it's just on social media. I wanted to show that leading and inspiring people via digital means is possible beyond the classroom. I can teach you wherever and whenever, just as long as you are ready. And I want to showcase relatable role models from an underrepresented and underprivileged and underserved community because they deserve it. Just because I don't look like you, that doesn't mean that you need to be deprived. I wanted to invite people you should see as your role models. If you have been a guest of our show, please know that your voice is changing lives. Evergreen. And I'm so proud that we have been able to interview so many women from so many countries all over the world, from so many disciplines at different career stages. So, drumroll, in the order of appearance, we had Dr. Carlotta A. Berry from the US with 2 episodes. One was Mentoring Your Way, and the second one was Strategies for Underrepresented PhD Students. Then we had Dr. Tina Roseva from Germany with her episode on Big Heart Ventures for Doctors. And then we had Dr. Emily Rosenthal from the US again, transitioning from research into business. Then we had Dr. Christine Eichhorn from Germany, being more than Ich bin Hannah. Then we had from the UK, Dr. Holly Prescott, navigating the struggles of postdoc employability. Then we had Headhunter, Dr. Sonja Uland from Germany with From Liberal Arts to a Corporate Career in Headhunting. Then we have Dr. Ana de Almeida Cumlin from Brazil, now in Spain and Portugal, on the Marie Curie Postdoc Fellowship. Then we had Dr. Rima Day from India with Building Resilience in a Recession. We had Dr. Cindy Leeton from the US, and she talked about her experience from the bench to biotech program management. We had Beth Horsley from the UK, a headhunter secrets for researchers transitioning into industry. And then again, Dr. Christine Eichhorn, and now with Dr. Amrei Ba from Germany about democracy in German academia. Then we go to Sweden with Dr. Tina Persson, and she's talking about developing adaptability, the journey to leadership. And then we had our friends from Wisecast, a podcast for women in science and education with Dr. Richard Chandra and Dr. Amber Miller. And we talked about Picture a Scientist Part 2. Part 1 is in their podcast Wisecast. And then we had Candice Zeri from PharmUni in Germany, and she talked about the future of work in pharma from an HR and upskilling perspective. And we had Dr. Irene Kilubi from Germany, and she talked about you are more than just a degree. We had Dr. Christina Solf from Germany, and she shared her experience about leaping from sociology research to the consulting jungle. Then we had Pamela Maruschke from Germany, and she talked about mixing business and technology with a human touch. We had Dr. Belinda De Bartolo from Australia, and she shared about her juggling family and career as a mother in science. Then we had Christina Bösenberg in Germany with building a bright consulting career in times of AI. And then I had my friend Noma Maguni from the UK on PhD hard talk and disseminating your research to the world. I have already recorded 12 episodes with inspiring interviews and solos for season 5, which starts on September the 5th. And I cannot wait to edit them over the summer with my team. If you want to shape our show and invite future guests or suggest career transition questions, please join our Inner Circle newsletter, which I will also link in the show notes, because we want to ramp up our season 5 with live shows to answer your questions regarding our 50 episodes and maybe even a small live in-person event in Düsseldorf, Germany. So let us know. Join our Inner Circle so that we can build a postdoc transformation together. As a PhD in neuroscience, as a psychologist, I'm an advocate for inclusion. And of course, providing of full transcripts and live captions on podcast players, etc. is a given. This is the leeway to my technical point of view. I want to thank my software partners, ActiveCampaign, Descript, Squadcast, Typeform, Later, and of course, Podbean, because I'm a techie at heart, and capitalizing on their AI-ingested features is really a joy for me. And now I want to unveil something. After having tested a new LinkedIn newsletter called Creating Reorganized, I want to share with you that we will create a second podcast, Creating Reorganized, showcasing our software partners' features that help us create our postdoc transformation show. So if you are an aspiring business owner, or you want to use a podcast to disseminate your ideas, your science communication, or your business, services, products, or whatever, then please also join and tune in to our new show coming in autumn, because now we will be recording our sessions for that new podcast. I often joke I'm a serial career transitioner, and I'm ready to bet on myself again. And also, this time, my joy with technology. Many of my transferable skills fall strategically into place when I am podcasting. So, remember, you can build your postdoc transformation according to your vision of life. With podcasting and advertising affiliate links, I was able to pick up my kids around 3 o'clock every day after school, since half a year. I'm building my postdoc transformation family first. You probably heard me talking about this a couple of times, and I really mean it. I really mean business. This did not happen overnight. And if you've been with this podcast, the Postdoc Transformation Show, you have witnessed my own postdoc transformation, from being a solo podcaster to also an interviewer and a host, and I have managed everything on the tech side. I love it. Being able to inspire and to educate, to share inspiring voices when I'm caring for my children is really building my own postdoc transformation according to my vision of life. I want to thank you with your listenings and your support on social media. You support me as a working mom and a business owner. We will be back with season 5 on September the 5th. So stay tuned for your own postdoc transformation and sing along with me when we sing Postdoc Transformation, Postdoc Transformation, Postdoc Transformation. Have you found this episode so far helpful for yourself? Well, maybe you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or wherever you get our show. And also share this episode with your PhD bestie, because that would encourage us to help the underprivileged, underrepresented, and underserved early career scientists leaping into business. This would also ensure that you don't miss a future episode. Also, our subscription and listening numbers are key for finding the right sponsors for our show so that we can help you for free. Do you want a transcript of our episode? And our episode sponsors answers to all 6 bold questions so that you can choose to apply. Do you want to nominate your potential employer of choice so that we can ask them our bold questions? For all of that, click on our links in our show notes and on our website, www.postdoctransformation.com. Remember to check your readiness to leap out of science and to enroll in our free email course, Career Transition Made Simple. Thanks for your attention. I'm Professor Dr. Eleonore Soei-Winkels, the host of your seasonal Postdoc Transformation Show. Hey, you're still here? And you are a future HR or talent management leader? Well, I want to talk to you about a powerful tool that can transform the way organizations communicate internally. How about creating a podcast like this one? In today's fast-paced business world, effective communication is the cornerstone of success. So how can you engage your employees, convey your company's culture, and share knowledge in a dynamic, authentic, and accessible way? Well, to me, the answer lies in podcasting, obviously. So picture this, a podcast tailor-made for your organization where you and your real employees and leaders share success stories and updates in a conversational, engaging format. It's like having your own radio show, but with a corporate twist. Absolutely branded. Now, why should you consider this as a future HR and talent management professional? Well, podcasts are accessible. So your employees can tune in during their daily commute, while multitasking, off-screen, or walking, and it's flexible and it can be easily repurposed in different formats and languages. You know what I'm talking about, right? So it actually humanizes your organization, and podcasts allow you to bring the company's culture to life. You can interview leaders, team members, and highlight what makes your workplace unique and connect with those team members who are far away or on parental leave when they are most receptive for your internal communication. And in the era of AI-generated communications, a podcast with your business leaders in real life is a real human way to reach your employees. You can inform your people every day, everywhere, on demand, and not just during the typical onboarding and promotion seasons. Lastly, it's a platform for continuous learning. Whether it's training materials, leadership insights, or industry trends, podcasts keep your team informed and inspired. So, as you prepare to step into the world of HR, talent management, and leadership, consider the impact you can make by introducing a corporate podcast. It's a game changer for internal communications and aligns perfectly with a modern work environment. So, are you ready to inform with a human touch? Create a podcast with me. I'm Eleonore Soei-Winkels, the host of the Postdoc Transformation Show. Do you need inspiration? Well, you can get a list of free 30 sample episode titles to be customized for your company. Just enter your email address on our company podcast form on postdoctransformation.com. Postdoc Transformation.